Questions for Joe? Start with John.
Joe, you went small a lot against their size. What did you see that was effective with that?
I thought one, it just gave us some cross matches on the offensive end. I thought it put them in some tough spots defensively. They're a really good defensive team when they can slow you down with their physicality, and I thought that kind of we were able to play with some space there. And then defensively, I thought we battled. It almost forced us to have a heightened awareness to the physicality that's necessary to be able to play. And I thought we did the best job that we could, on the offensive glass throughout those stretches.
You've talked a lot about how the defensive rebounding is going to be what it is for a lot of this, but you're going to have to offset it with your own offensive rebounding, forcing turnovers. It seems like this is the type of game, this is the type of performance that you might have been talking about. Is this kind of like where you kind of hope it was, or how do you see it in that regard?
Well, it helped we shot 47% from three, so that makes up for a lot of other stuff. But, we got 20 points off turnovers. I'm sure they, dominated the shot margin. And so every game's just going to be completely different. To me, tonight wasn't about the execution as it was kind of the mindset, that we played with, and the multiple efforts that we played with. I mean, they had, they from an execution standpoint, more offensive rebounds, more free throws, et cetera. But I thought tonight we just had the grit, and kind of the toughness to do whatever it takes to win, and we got to try to fight for that every night.
Joe, Amari has not really been much with you guys, and he spends 15 minutes of the game here today. What was the preparation of getting him ready to go for this game? What did you see from him, and kind of what are your thoughts about that experience?
To me, it starts with Amari, just being able to play those 15 minutes, and then it trickles down to the connectivity of Maine, and the work that Phil does and their assistants, and then just our player development staff, just the continuity for the ability to guy to step right in and know the plays, know the coverages, all the pregame work that the player development staff does on the court, and then with personnel. That's just kind of a testament to the alignment, one, to Amari's, mindset, but also to the staff. So, I think all those things combined just felt just as comfortable for him to be on the floor tonight. I thought he did some good stuff.
Joe, certainly it won't show up in the box score, but can you talk about Jalen's box out that led to Peyton getting that rebound at the end?
Yeah, again, I mean, I think he's given everything he's got on both ends of the floor, and obviously he had a great night offensively, but those plays right there, right? I think just timely plays that we have to make, and he made that, and there was multiple of those. It's funny, went small. I felt like we protected the rim better than we did when we have bigs out there sometimes, because I think the heightened awareness and kind of more of the we don't have another choice. We have to do this, and Jalen led that, but we had some big time plays really by everybody who was out there tonight.
How did Derek's second half help you just respond to the Pistons pushes there?
Yeah, I mean, that's Derek. Whenever he's not playing well, I kind of get excited because I know it's when it comes out of it, it's going to the other side of that is better than what that is so much better. So that's just the trust that I have in him as a player, and so I mean, and that'll never waver. And so in the first half, you can kind of see he made, to me, outside of Derek, the two plays that I think changed the game, and really this is a credit to the city and the Garden. Is we're 9-8. And haven't probably played as well as we wanted to have, but Baylor jumps on the floor for a loose ball. Derek sprints back the full length of the floor and gets a back tip, and the entire energy in the Garden shifts. And I think the city, the Garden appreciates, regardless of record or result, they just appreciate that type of mindset, that type of effort, and that's what we brought. And I think those two plays in particular. And when Derek made that play, I knew he was going to snap out of it, and so it's just a credit to him.
Joe, with Baylor, what about the work he's done over the past 2 years since he's gotten here has elevated him to the point where he's in, the realm of trust for him to be guarding Cade in the final 5 minutes of this game? Like, what about his work and everything he's done has put him in that position?
Yeah, again, it's him, it's his mindset, it's his preparation, but it's the staff, it's the daily stuff that goes into it. But to me, the physicality, he just cares. He cares. He wants to be good. It has an understanding of what success looks like for him. And whether it's studying personnel, whether it's working on it and things. So it has a lot to do with him. It has a lot to do with the player development staff where, when these guys get out here, they're fully prepared. And I think the trust just comes from the trust. It's funny, everyone looks at, the trust coming from a successful night, but for me, the trust comes from the response to failure. And you take a look at all these guys tonight that have made winning plays, whether it was Jordan or Baylor or Amari or Josh or Ugo. The trust comes from when you mess up, how do you respond to it? And I trust them more when I see that than I do when it goes well for them. And he's done a great job of doing that throughout the season.
What does his response to failure look like? Like, what has that been for you guys? Like,
Yeah, he has an understanding. He takes what he's done well, where he needs to get better at, and he applies it immediately. And again, you have to have thick skin, and so he has that, and he can work through. He can work through failure. He can work through mistakes. He can work through criticism, and it just makes him better. And I think all the guys there are showing moments of that.
Jay has one more.
You guys are up 3 trying to foul. What's the decision there with about 5 seconds left on whether to give that foul, whether to not give it, and just play solid defense?
I mean, I thought it's tough because, you got Duncan Robinson on the floor, Cade's got 40. I thought at 9.9 we fouled a little bit too early, but you don't know that. You want to it's a balance of executing versus feel. And, Duncan Robinson inbounded it, so he was probably going to come and set a brush screen that could have opened up something, and then now you can't foul. So I thought we executed it, but I think 9.1 was a little early. On the second one, in a full court one, you're looking to do it around half court. And that's credit to Cunningham. He timed it up perfectly. But there's no right answer there. It's just we have to just have the feel for it. What's funny is we didn't do it in a full court setting against the Clippers, and Harden gets a shot off. So that is, that's just the epitome of the late game is kind of a crapshoot in some senses,
Final couple questions, Gary, and then John.
Joe, the fact that the call was changed, how did you react? But how did you not overreact to that? You could have went ballistic when they changed it from a 2-shot foul to a 3-shot foul, and then it seemed like it was kind of your preparation to get that rebound, to assume that maybe he's not going to hit all 3.
Yeah.
I mean, what is that?
I mean, at that point, I didn't want to cost my team any more time. I think, the players deserved to win that, and it was my responsibility to stay as present as I can until what was going to happen next. If it was a different situation, I may not have responded that way, but I think the players deserve to win, so it's my job to give them the best chance at that, and the best chance was to not respond, But it's also a 50-50 call. Like it's not, I don't know that it was one way or another. Afterwards, if we had a timeout, do we challenge? We could, but you don't know that they're going to reverse it. You know what I mean? So, at the end of the day, it is what it is. I mean, it's a bang play. We did our best to execute it. It wasn't there, but our guys deserve to win, so I got to stay in there.
And this seemed like one of those games, Joe, where keeping your timeouts and not falling for the challenge benefited you. That second timeout when you didn't get the ball in, but it just seemed like your coaching and the kind of the decisions kind of led to this.
Well, no, we used 2 in the first quarter, so we were down, and we won the challenge, which helped. But they challenged in the third quarter, which got the timeouts back to even. And so I thought that was a big play. They challenged, and it was not a point. It wasn't worth points. It was just worth a possession. But they used both mandatories at that time, and then that got the timeouts back to even, and then we were able kind of to execute throughout there. But that swing from us using both in the first and them challenging on a mandatory to get the possession brought that back to even, and then we were able to kind of execute through there. But I thought it had more to do with just kind of our guys, the mindset and the physicality and just the grit that they play with. And like I said, I want to thank the Garden for that, because they just appreciate great basketball. And I told the guys that, like, at the end of the day, we just have to try to do that every single night. The result obviously matters, but we're in a place where they just appreciate, the grit and the toughness, and I thought we exemplified that, and that's the standard that we have to try to work through every night.
Joe, you talk about that grit and all that stuff. You coming off 2 games, a loss to Brooklyn, which is disappointing, a win against Orlando where there was that huge comeback and it kind of feels deflating. Then you come into this game and these guys kind of put it all out there. They were fighting. What does it say about them? And how do you get to that point where it's like you put that behind you and focus on this and stay present, like you said?
No, I think that's the challenge of the regular season, is how many of the 82 can you be the best version of yourself? And then of the 48-minute games, how many of those minutes can you be at your best? And that's just the challenge, right? And the guys have it in them. We could do it in training camp when there's no travel, there's no back-to-backs, there's no, the drill's only 10 minutes, it's not 48 minutes. There's so many variables once the season starts that test your the discipline, the toughness, and all the things that go into making the decision easy to have a great practice. We have to just fight to do that. And you saw, and trust me, we're going to have more games like this, but we're going to have some where we don't play well. But over the course of 82, we just have to fight to be as consistent as we can in the things, in the best version of ourselves, which I thought was out of 48 minutes we played, about 40 of that tonight.
Thank you, Joe.
Thanks.